Hey everyone. Well, what can I say? This place is amazing. I'm definitely getting that, like, Hawaii is a magical place vibe. Yeah, I definitely, it's sort of a thing. I think I'm catching the island bug. And maybe, you know, I had a thought earlier today. I was lying, I put Annalise down for her nap, and I was just napping in the next room, and I had this thought come through, and it's kind of a vacation-y thought. As I think about it, it's kind of a vacation-y thought, but it's also actually really a kind of deep spiritual imperative in a lot of ways if you think about, you know, think about it in a certain way. And what came through was, I was lying there, and for some reason this thought just flashed through my head: what if I just stop trying? In other words, like, what if instead of making an effort to evolve, I just stop making that effort? And this is a question and a thought process that I've had before, and it's sort of, you know, I frame it in my mind as kind of there's a kind of dichotomy going on, because on one level, from the point of view of absolute consciousness, I'm already not trying. There is no try. There literally, you know, there's do or do not. There is no try in the sort of Yoda, in the words of Yoda. That's already true on that level. And so really what's happening is I'm realizing that. I'm recognizing that space of consciousness, and I'm realizing there's no such thing as trying from that point of view. I'm already not, it's all happening. I'm not trying to evolve. I'm evolving as a matter of course within this frame of consciousness that can't ever try to do anything. Everything simply is. And so there's that's kind of like one half of the dichotomy that I'm talking about. The other half is, as we move through the world with that realization, you know, in other words, as we take the recognition of that consciousness, that awareness that we find either through meditation or through various kinds of experiences, you know, as we take that and integrate it into our lives and become animated by that, become motivated by that, become infused with that realization, then we go out into the world, and we, the ego, we, the individual, still have to decide to do something. We still have to do stuff. We don't have to do stuff. You know, Eckhart Tolle sat on a bench for 2.5 years, just every single day sitting on a bench. But that's still doing something, right? He still chose to do that. And then at the end of 2.5 years, something motivated him to stop just sitting on a bench and write books and become a speaker, and to try and, you know, do workshops with people and try and help other people realize some of what he has realized. So, but that's a level of decision. That's a level of trying, in a way. It's a level, you know, because I'll bet you anything that Eckhart Tolle makes mistakes. I'll bet you anything that he does things and goes, next time I'll try it like this, you know. It probably doesn't stress him out very much, because he's doing everything from a place of knowing that he's not trying, knowing that there's no effort, that everything is already effortless, and that all there is to do is realize that. You know, I suspect that that's what sitting on a bench for 2.5 years kind of did for him. It let all of that fall away. Just he was able to see through. Again, I'm kind of speculating as to his realization now, but But that's the, that's my own experience, is that experience of consciousness is one in which it's like we feel ourselves receding from the immediacy of what's happening in our lives, receding from the decisions that we're making, receding from the work we're doing, the effort we're making, the projects we have, the relationships we have, all of that kind of recedes. And we just settle into watching the play of the dynamics of the universe at play. There are laws of physics, and there are laws of spiritual physics, and there are laws of emotional physics, laws of psychological physics, and all those laws start to become visible when we just back up a little bit and let those forces play themselves out. And from that point of view, there is no effort. There is nothing to do, there's nothing to engage with, there's nothing to work hard at. And then we step into the world, and we have to, and as the ego, as the individual, we have to decide what to do. I have to decide what am I going to write for my spiritual cabaret? What are these songs going to be about? What's the first song going to be? Is that the right first song? What do I want the tone to be? What do I want to leave people with? What do I want to say ultimately? What do I ultimately want to be saying here? Questions like that. And those are questions that, like it or not, involve some degree of what, to me anyway, feels like effort. Maybe there's a place that we get beyond that. Maybe there's a place to get to where even that sort of deep creative work can feel totally effortless. My own experience at this point is still somewhat that when I enter into that level of expressing the realization in the world, I impel myself into the world. It's like I move into the world with this power at my disposal, and this power coming through me, but I still am channeling it, and I'm working with it. I'm working with it just like I would be if I were fixing a car, or if I were, I don't know, picking up trash or doing anything that involves work. I'm working with I'm working with the material. And I think, on some level, that's also where I feel like the realization really kind of both halves of this dichotomy kind of start to almost become like an infinity loop, like where we're in the space and then we dip into the world, and then we're in the space and we dip into the world, and we're in the space and we dip. And not that we are ever not in either of them, but our emphasis, our awareness, our focus goes from being to becoming, to being to becoming, to being to becoming, and has this kind of like ongoing movement to it, an evolution, an evolutionary flow to it. So I think what this message that's coming through for me, what if I stopped trying, is what it's really saying is withdraw from the ways in which I'm exerting effort that don't feel fruitful. Withdraw from the ways in which I am trying against something that don't feel like they're, fighting. I love what Buckminster Fuller says about, I would take my cue from the universe as to whether I was on the right track based on whether something was supporting me or not. If it was sustaining me, I was going to devote my life to the evolution of all mankind, and if it sustains me, then I'm going to take that as a sign that I'm on the right track. And if it doesn't sustain me, then I'm going to take that as a sign that I need to shift gears and go, try another direction. So I think that's what's happening for me. Is I'm hearing my whole being say, stop trying. Do what's in front of you. See what happens after that. So It's exciting, kind of a cool thing. It's a very vacation-y thought. It's a very Hawaii thought, but it's also a profoundly weighty thought. It's not a superficial thought. So, that's where I am today, people. Love you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you watching, listening. Oh my God. Every day when I see people subscribing or liking or commenting, it means so much. It's so deeply, deeply meaningful to me to feel that I'm in dialogue. So, much love to you all. I'll see you soon.